Hello guys, welcome to my channel. I am Rathin Datta. Today we will be discussing about the heat treatment process and mainly the annealing heat treatment process. Okay, so in annealing what happens, we treat the material to or subject the material to a high temperature that is above the critical temperature. In case of steel it is more than 723 degree Celsius, and thereby following a slow cooling to a room temperature, and the result is that the microstructure shows a high ductility nature, high toughness but low hardness. Okay, annealing is mainly done for those materials which are about to be used for cold forming, thereby reducing the load and energy required for the operation. So our annealing is of four types mainly: full annealing, spheroidized annealing, process annealing, and stress relieving annealing. In the first type, that is the full annealing, we treat the material with a temperature 40 to 50 or 70 degree Celsius more than the critical temperature, and thereby holding the material in that temperature, which is called soaking, with a rate of 3 to 4 mm per minute, and thereby slow cooling with a cooling rate of 30 degree to 200 degree Celsius per hour depending on the composition of the material. Okay, and the next thing, that is the full annealing, is done to increase the ductility and the toughness of the material. Okay, and in the process annealing, it is used for those low carbon steel where the composition of carbon is 0.05 percentage to 0.30 percentage. As we have seen in the sheet metal working, we need to have more plastic deformation. For this, the low carbon steel is heated lower or subjected to heat with a lower than the critical temperature and followed by a slow cooling. Okay, and in the third type, that is the spheroidized annealing, what we do, we treat the material with a temperature more than 750 to 770 degrees Celsius, and then by holding the material in that temperature and thereby slow cooling to 600 Celsius depending 25 to 30 degree Celsius per hour with a cooling rate. It is mainly done to increase the machinability of the material. Okay, in the fourth type, that is a stress relieving type, sometimes the material after working or cold working, it has some internal stresses. To remove those stresses, we treat the material with a temperature more than 650 degrees Celsius for steel, and thereby slow cooling in the furnace or in the steel air. So what it does, it removes those internal stresses, which actually makes it more ductile, less brittle, and saves it from from failure. Okay, so if we quickly revise it, the full annealing is to increase the ductility and the toughness, and the process annealing is used for your low carbon steel, and the third spheroidized annealing is used to increase the machinability of the material, and in the fourth type, that is the stress relieving, we use it for relieving the stresses. In the full annealing, what we do, we actually treat the material 50-70 degrees Celsius more than the critical temperature, and in the process annealing, we keep the temperature lower than the critical temperature, and in the spheroidized annealing, what we do, we keep the temperature more than 750 or 770 degrees Celsius. It is all for steel. And in case of the stress relieving annealing, what we do, we keep the temperature more than 650 degrees Celsius. So this is all about the heat treatment, that is annealing heat treatment, and the types of annealing. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Thank you so much once again. Bye bye.